Now, I'm with Sister Jean, and Sister Jean is in charge of Wisdom Services here in Sligo. That's Sister Jean Quinn. Jean, how do you feel at this moment in time? What's happened in the last week?
Well, first of all, as a Sligo person, to be standing here about to walk in a rally through Sligo about services in Wisdom Services, it's a difficult position to be in for me, actually.
I mean, you're not a very public person. You don't.
No, I'm not. I don't like this. This is not my raison d'être at all. I prefer to be in the background doing the work. But I feel so strongly about what's happening to Wisdom Services that I gave my commitment to be the public face of it at the moment.
And how do you feel now that the fact that Cregg House, who you've been involved with, or your order has been involved with now for almost 60 years, is suddenly in the limelight? It's been discussed in the halls of power in Dáil Éireann. How does that make you feel?
Not very good, because I think we're dealing with the most vulnerable people in society, and have to come out and talk about it the way we've had to do this past week doesn't relate well to the Daughters of Wisdom.
And tell me, perhaps the most poignant question, are you hopeful about a positive outcome to this?
I was more hopeful last week than I am this evening, but I'm a person of faith, so I hold out my belief that something good will come of this.
And what makes you feel that way?
Well, the amazing support we've had this past week, not just in Sligo, but right through the country.
Yes, but the fact that you're not as hopeful now, I mean, you've had great intervention with politicians, I understand.
We've not had any talks for nearly a week now. There's been no face-to-face talks in relation to funding or making any difference to the issue around Wisdom Services and the cut in our budget.
Okay, now the crowds are starting to build up. It's still over half an hour to go before, and the crowds are already building up here behind us. And are you hopeful politicians will come along and show their face this evening?
I'm hoping the elected, the Oireachtas politicians will meet us in the town hall to receive a letter from us.
That's great, thank you very much. Now, would you like to tell me why you're here this evening?
We're here to support our sister who's in Cregg House, and she's very happy there, and we're very concerned about what's going to happen to her.
And there's a lot of worry in the family at the moment
about it? There's a lot of worry in the family. Our parents are dead, and she's the youngest in the family, so we have to support her. She doesn't have a voice, so we're voicing her.
Could I ask you how long is she resident there?
Oh, she's about 40 years.
For 40 years, that's not that. What do you think of the turnout here so far?
The turnout is very good. I hope more people will come along.
And you're prepared for the long haul to keep this protest up?
Absolutely, yes.
And do you have a message for the politicians who will be watching this now?
Yes, I think the politicians should come down here and address the people this evening.
Right, and you'll be disappointed if they don't?
I'll be very disappointed if they don't turn out.
Great, thank you very much indeed. I'm here with Lily McMurray. Lily, you're a veteran of these marches and protests in Sligo. Did you think you'd be out on another one so soon?
No, Kieran, I didn't think we'd be out on another one so soon. It's just the way things are gone now. It is so hurtful to the people who have children that need help. And the government just doing this is just unbelievable, and it's not right. So I'm here to give support.
And how about your own campaign? What's happening with that now?
Well, we're still making noises, quiet noises behind the scenes.
This is, I should say to our listeners, that's the cancer campaign.
Cancer, yes, and we hope someday to get to talk to Mr. James Riley and give us answers of what happened or why he didn't come out and be truthful with us. And the work that's been done at Cregg House is just absolutely fantastic for families and for children, and I think this is the worst now they have done, especially to the people of the Northwest. We seem to be getting one knock after the other. If it's not the hospital, it's the children's homes.
Of the residents of Wisdom Services, and this was to be a silent awareness rally because the people that we represent, there's a silent majority, so we want to speak on their behalf. And we've been very moved. We've never done this before. I'm from Sligo, as many of you, most of you will know, and I never thought I'd see the day when I would be marching down O'Connell Street in Sligo, but I feel very strongly about it. So I'm very grateful. I'm not going to say a lot, it's just a word of gratitude, but I do want to ask if there's any TD from Sligo here who will accept a letter from me to give to the Minister. I don't know if there's anybody here. One of the government parties.
A senator on the government side, and I have no problem if there's nobody else.
Okay, well, that's to the Minister for Health on behalf of all the residents and staff of Wisdom Services in Cregg House, that something happens that's significant for the residents. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We set up Junior Minister on Wednesday evening.
I know, but the Daughters of Wisdom and their advisors are not at that meeting, and I think it's important that we're part of the conversation. That's really important. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm with Senator Michael Comiskey. Michael, you were the only person from the government department here, the government Oireachtas here tonight. Is that right?
That is correct. That is correct. Now, as I was saying already earlier on, Minister Brian Hayes, Junior Minister Brian Hayes, is in the IT at this time, and I know that the other deputies are with him, and maybe that is the reason now. But yeah, I'm the only one. I'm accompanied here by a number of Fine Gael councillors as well, of course.
Of course.
And I'm quite happy to be here.
Right, you accepted the envelope that was handed in.
That's right, yeah.
And will you present that now to the Minister himself?
I'll be in Dublin tomorrow, and I'll make a point of presenting that to Minister Riley myself personally.
The message must have went out very clear this evening, Michael. Up to 2,000 people on the streets. We haven't seen a protest like that in a while.
Certainly.
And a very silent one, a very dignified.
A very dignified protest. It is, of course, yeah. And the message is coming out loud and clear. And we've been listening to that message over the last number of days. I suppose it's a week, just I believe this day a week, or tomorrow, Tuesday week, on my way to Dublin, was the first news I got of it. Now, it broke just last week. As I've said already, I believe that this problem will be resolved. It's an internal problem with the HSE, a budgeting problem, but I think, I hope, and I think it will be resolved.
Well, Sister Jean there a few moments ago said that she doesn't see an end in sight at this moment. Right. She feels that the Sisters of Wisdom are gone from it, well, because they haven't been invited to anything.
Yes, well, again, I'll bring that message to Junior Minister Kathleen Lynch, who has responsibility on Wednesday evening, and I'll ask her if it's possible to arrange a meeting with Sister Jean, and I'll certainly convey that message to the Minister.
Michael, I know sometimes in the world of politics we can look at things from all angles and from great heights, but surely this must bite at your heart and your soul.
Oh, certainly it does, of course. And when I was interviewed on Ocean FM the other morning, I talked about visiting Cregg House in the past, and indeed about being at funerals in Cregg House. And it does, of course. We know that we're in a very difficult situation, and cuts have to be made. But this is one I think that we can push aside and reverse the decision that has been taken by the HSE, I must add.
You feel confident about that?
I'm reasonably confident. I'm reasonably confident that we can now, and I'm not in the business of making promises. I've said that before, but I certainly will give it all of my push that I can do to make sure that is resolved.
How significant is the Wednesday meeting coming up?
It's very significant. I think Minister Kathleen Lynch has given a commitment on the telephone that she is serious about resolving this problem.
Great. Thank you very much indeed.